sitting here with you guys, and it's been a real learning experience for me over the last few months. And I'm looking forward to us all doing good things together, doing the good work of the state. So, thanks. So, I believe we start typically with an invitation. Mr. Williams, your eloquence, I think, is unsurpassed here on the board. So, if you wouldn't mind.
With that, how can I refuse? Heavenly Father, we are just so thankful for bringing us all here safely. We ask, Lord, blessings on everyone at this table and everyone in this room, everyone who is on their way who might come at a later time. We ask, Lord, that you would bless us with wisdom, bless us with mercy, bless us with a commitment to do what's right according to the state mandates. These things we ask in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Can we do the roll call?
Yes, sir. Sure. Edwin Neal.
Present.
Noah Brown.
Present.
Jill Abear.
Present.
Francis Hand. Absent. Deidre Delpit.
Present.
Melinda Tilley. William Grayson.
Present.
James Wood.
Present.
7 board members present, 1 absent, and there is a quorum.
And before we start, I know many of us sitting at this table were very fortunate with the flooding. Miss Hand, unfortunately, her business was quite affected. I know many staff were affected, and just anything that we can do to support people in this time. I know I want to do that, and I speak for the board. Everyone has a copy of the agenda. I was wondering if there were any additions or questions or subtractions. All right, so with that, I'd like to hear a motion to approve the minutes unless anybody has any
I'll
changes.
make a motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So at this time, I'd like to, I know we have some guests in the room, and I'd like for them to briefly introduce themselves, just so we know who's here, and to really recognize people who took the time to come and be here today.
I'm Bella Marcel from Omega Institute of Cosmetology. Priscilla Marcel with Omega Institute of Cosmetology.
And Warren, Oculus School of Cosmetology.
Carol Guy, Vanguard College of Cosmetology.
Or Morrow from Lafayette Cosmetology Training Center.
Hi, I'm Jim Holt. I'm here with my clients. We're on the agenda for hearing this morning.
And I'd like, at some point, I think we want to go ahead and move you up. I should kind of get you out of here.
All right.
Born. I'm sorry, Robert Burns, Sound Off, Louisiana, Baton Rouge.
So with that, if the board doesn't object, would you mind if we took Mr. Holt's matter out of order and went ahead and got, so we could get him out of here?
Motion to reorder the agenda and 2/3 vote in favor.
Okay, a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Yeah. Agenda is reordered.
Can Mr. Holden sit here?
Yeah, we're gonna do it right now.
Let me just give a brief introduction. This is Mr. Jim Holt. He represents the 2 clients under hearings A and B. The first one is Don T. Tran. I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about Mr. Holt's clients because these matters were heard by our prior board. We had Don T. Tran. I've given Mr. Holt a set of exhibits, and they're just copies of things that were in the record of our last hearing. But Ms. Tran was an applicant for a cosmetology license, and the application came, we had a series of these cases. but the application came to us in an envelope that appeared to be from the state of Wisconsin Board of Cosmetology. And the board staff became aware that this state of Wisconsin, I'll send you a copy of this in a minute, State of Wisconsin Department of Public Safety and Professional Services, this was not their actual envelope, this was a forgery. So that provoked an investigation of the application. And we did have a hearing in which it was determined that the state of Wisconsin, in communication with the board, with all of these applications, not just this one, they were not valid licenses. So we could not grant, the board did not grant reciprocity based upon these applications because Wisconsin said these people are not validly licensed. Then there was an order issued by this board, which it was very short. Ms. Tran did not appear at the hearing, so the documents were accepted by the board. There was no appearance and no explanation by Mr. Holt's client, and so they denied the application, and they found that it was denied on the basis of submitting false statements and documents for an application of reciprocity, which was a violation of Louisiana Revised Statute Title 37, 600A1. Specifically, the applicant misrepresented being licensed in the state of Wisconsin and submitted false documents to that effect. And so the applicant was prohibited from receiving any credential from the board without appearing before the board. So that is why Mr. Holt is here with his client appearing before the board. His client has now submitted an application for reciprocity from the state of California. So these are do you have any objection?
No.
Can you give me
No.
a copy? Okay, these are the documents that were in the board record from the previous matter. And then I'll just turn it over to Mr. Holt. I'm just giving background today.
Good morning, and thank you for taking me out of order. But continuing the timeline, so my client is here today with having been denied from with the whole Wisconsin issue. She went to the state of California and received her manicurist license. And I think that this board has investigated the validity of that license and has not determined that it is fraud. I think the consensus is that this is a legitimate school that she went to, so she is now asking the state to grant her reciprocity for the manicurist license based on her California credentials. And those credentials have been submitted to the board along with all fees. Questions?
Also on the application, it said that state-where training was required was VHD Institute of Cosmetology in Milwaukee. And it was verified that the applicant was not a student of that institution.
Is that the institution from California?
No.
That's Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's the prior.
The prior.
debacle.
Have you been in contact with the school from California?
All I have is the documents that my client sent me along with the fees. I previously turned that information into the board probably at this point 90 days ago.
This was in 2014, this prior case, but Mr. Holt's client is here if you all wanted to ask her questions. She's here.
So are we here
My question is, have you been in contact with that institution to verify this one, based on the Wisconsin situation? Have you been able to verify that?
I did not think that the board would accept any statements from me, so I thought the board wanted to do its own investigation. But I would be happy to look into it.
No, I'm not asking to look into, I was just wondering, had you?
No, I
Had you done it?
She's here, she told me she went.
So we haven't had a chance to do an investigation.
What, this staff, do you have, this staff person who looked into it, is that Tasha?
Stephanie, actually, Stephanie was surprised.
Is she here today?
I can't hear.
Is Stephanie here today?
Yeah.
Would you like me to get her?
I have a question. I might be out of order, I don't know yet, but I just want to ask it. Why did you not go to a school in Louisiana for your Medicaid license?
I can't hear her, I'm sorry.
Speak up.
Do you want to swear her in?
Raise your hand.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? And I have to take down everything you say, so I ask that you speak up.
The question was, why did she not go to a school in Louisiana?
That over there had English school and too much money. And I go in California, it's cheaper.
So you moved to California?
Yeah.
You lived in California?
My brother live over there. Then I go there 2.5 months and stay at my brother's house. And I go to school over there. I need a job. I need a job a very long time.
I have a question. Why did you submit the application that showed a school in Wisconsin?
Do you
Because I
understand the
go,
question?
yeah,
You
because I
understand?
go Asian market, I see the fly, and I saw in there and go, I call over there, and I apply. I didn't know it was bad, you know.
Just, if I may, to bring everybody up to speed, what she's
Yeah.
alluding to is the fact that she, along with others, saw a flyer. This is her statement. She saw a flyer advertising a school in Wisconsin that can be completed online. She called that number, spoke to a person who represented himself as being a representative of the school, of that school. That turned out to be a fraudulent scheme that probably 20 or 30 ladies got taken advantage of. As it turned out, that was not a legitimate representative from the state of Wisconsin.
I have another question. How many hours in California did it take you to be able to complete your manicure?
400 pounds,
400, and how much had it cost you?
2,000.
2,000. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, we just wanted to make sure that the state of Louisiana was it verified for completion of the course in California. That was verified. Yes, ma'am.
So it is a legitimate school in California to do the course?
Schooling, I don't know, because all we get from the State Board of California is this certification just saying that they're licensed and when their license expire and what their license has. Now the schools, I don't know.
So that piece of paper comes directly from the state of California Cosmetology
Yes,
Board?
ma'am.
So do you guys want to see any of these paperwork? Well, are there any further questions?
Let me ask this. That document from the state of California, that, you're saying that's a legitimate document?
I think so. I mean, it comes from their email from the State Board of California. I have spoken with someone in the office, and they got about 20 people now that I can get certifications from. So as far as if all the schools are legit, I have no idea.
No, I'm not asking about the school.
But the certification, it comes from their state board. So yes, it's legitimate. All I can do is accept the certifications from the state board. And I'm just saying, it came from their state board.
We have gotten documents from California before, right? So you're familiar with what that looks like? With
Right.
the state seal.
They're all the
etc.
same.
And all I'm asking, that's all I'm asking.
Right.
It's legitimate.
Right. Ma'am.
They had me in the job.
Mr. Young, did you want to? No. Well, at this time, I think we need a motion to approve.
I'll make an motion to approve, for her to be able to get her license.
Second.
Is that,
All in favor, say aye.
the question, is she gonna have to take an exam?
That was my question.
Are we required? Yes, are we required? Yes.
State test.
I think they should.
See, California does not require that they take our national here.
We require.
Usually,
But
we require
that's why a lot of them
national.
go there, because they don't have to take the national here.
But we
We
usually
require
have
it.
them take it.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that we have her take it, and that way she is legit, and she'll be.
Where did she take the national exam? Did she do it at the school or through a testing site?
What is it?
The state,
I can't hear it.
school, the state, a lot of the LA.
Is that the law that
Yeah.
we require? Shouldn't we give full reciprocity to another state's?
Right, that's what I'm asking.
No,
If we
always-
just grant reciprocity, do we?
No, you always have to
Excuse
take the
You
Louisiana
always
exam.
have to take the Louisiana.
Everyone
test.
has to take the state test,
Right.
but everyone does not have to take the NIC.
Right.
National. And California is one of the states that does give the NIC, that we accept their scores, but I don't think they're taking them at a facility like we have. I don't know where they're taking the test at.
Well, if we require, I would say to take our state test, then we should actually.
Grant her the right to take the state test or anything.
Mr. Young?
Just as an explanation, the board has ruled in years previous that it is required that anyone coming into the state on transfer should have an NIC National Theory Test score of 70 or above. We require it here, and so for the 36 states that give the NIC test, there's no problem. Because they will send us a test score that is 70 or above, and in that case, the student only has to take a 25-question state law test. For those states that do not give the NIC National Theory Test, then the board has ruled in years previous that it is necessary for that person to take the 100-question NIC National Theory plus the state test. That's what we do. In this case, the lady has taken the NIC National, has passed it. We have received verification from California that she has a valid California license. All that we require here is that she take the 25-question state test, and that's all. Yes, sir.
That helps. We don't, Ms. Avery, you want to restate your motion?
Right, we're gonna, accept her, license from California, but we would like her to take the state test, Louisiana state test. So, I make a motion that she does take our state test and.
And pass it.
And pass it, and Mr. Goodman?
What is it? Is it 70%, 80%? What is it?
70%.
70.
And it's a 25-question test, correct? Not a practical, just a written test.
Just a written multiple choice.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Good luck. Mr. Holt, you have your second call.
Yes, similar situation. California.
You want to make a statement before we ask our questions?
No, this is Kim too, similar situation.
Give the background. This is a different situation. This was not a Wisconsin reciprocity. This was an applicant to a school, Willie Payne's Academy. And Willie Payne's Academy had a hearing before this board. There were numerous students that had Louisiana high school diplomas submitted from various schools by Willie Payne's Academy. This particular one was from Thibodeau High School, and the high schools in question that were listed on the diplomas verified that no diplomas had been issued to the names of the individuals on the licenses. So we had a number of those. We had approximately, I think, 80 that we started with. Subsequent to having the hearings on the, initially it was believed that the applicants had submitted the diplomas because the applicants had signed the applications. And then there was a hearing regarding the Willie Payne School after several of the applicants testified that they did not submit those diplomas to the Willie Payne School. Most of them had gone to high school out of the country. And so there was a hearing against Willie Payne's Academy, and their license was revoked on the basis of that they were preparing the applications for the individuals to sign. A lot of the individuals had very limited English skills, and they signed the application where they were told to sign it. They did not. Their testimony was that they did not provide the attachments, that those were provided by the school. And though the school contradicted that in testimony, the board found that those applications were somehow created within the school, and that school's license was revoked. So this is one of the applicants. Some of the applicants, we noticed, I think, close to 80 hearings, and a lot of the applicants did not show up. And the board said if the applicants didn't appear to explain, then they needed to appear before the board before they could get any sort of credential from the board. So this is one of the applicants from the Willie Payne Academy.
Now, I think in this case, what has happened is my client, there's a company that will translate a certificate in a foreign language to American language. Have you seen it, Sharon?
This was, in connection with that, there were some, that's a 2013 translation. The Willie Payne Academy also submitted some translations of documents which we could not verify were accurate. And Spantran, the company that did this translation, subsequently quit providing translation services to Willie Payne Academy after their documents were questioned. So that, I think that's a translation of a high school diploma
Correct.
from Vietnam.
And that was the issue in this case was about high school. So can I introduce this to the board? For Exhibit A? And that purports to be the translation of her high school diploma obtained in Vietnam. So when you have a document in a foreign language, you bring it to the United States, there is a company that translates that certificate for you. And that is what that purports to be. That purports to be her high school diploma out of Vietnam. And here's the original.
These are the documents from the prior. So, she's at the school or the school? She was an applicant at the Willie Payne Academy. In the Willie Payne Academy, we had a very long, drawn-out hearing. But I think what the board concluded is that Willie Payne Academy was enrolling the students and filling out the applications and putting a school in Louisiana. And there were very few applicants that appeared for the hearings, but they all said that it was a Louisiana school. They were all Louisiana high school diplomas that were
Willie Payne's was
forged.
actually an actual school in Louisiana?
Yes, it was, here in Baton Rouge.
But it doesn't sound like a made-up school.
No, Willie Payne's Academy was an actual licensed school, but the prior board revoked their license. But after several people testified that they did not present those documents, their testimony was, I went to high school in Vietnam, the ones that showed. And then I gave them a Vietnamese diploma, but we don't know where this other diploma came from. This lady was one of the people that did not appear for the hearing when she was ordered to appear before the board, so she did not provide any explanation. And that list of people that didn't appear before the board, if they apply for any type of licensure, they have to come for a hearing. The staff normally issues the license if all the documents are in order, but because of their prior history, the staff cannot issue the license.
So they actually went to school.
Well, she's applying for reciprocity from California. We have no verification that any of the individuals that sent in the documents actually attended Willie Payne. Because the applicant didn't show up and there was contradictory testimony from the school.
And I might just state for the record that, I guess it was earlier in the year when the hearing was scheduled, neither one of my clients attended because there was a scheduling conflict with my schedule. So I couldn't, the hearing went forward, I was absent, so they didn't come. That was in question at the time as to whether or not, I was going through in my mind as to whether or not they each or either needed a translator. So I was working on that, and then I had court cases that conflicted with that date. So for a couple of reasons, we didn't show.
Are we ready? Do we have everything else we need from staff perspective to allow, to move forward? Do we have the actual certificate from California, like the legal things?
Who are you talking about?
Do you have a copy of it, please, Sherry?
I do not have a copy of that.
How about if you, can you give us a minute to make sure in this case that we do have it?
Yeah, her name's on the agenda.
Would you go look and see what you can find in the computer on this?
In the meantime, do you think we could go ahead and swear her in and ask her questions?
Steph, verify she took the national.
Okay, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Steph, verify she took the national.
I have a question. What is your original high school diploma?
Yes, ma'am. I have the high school on my country only. I've had high school in here.
No, do you have a certificate from Vietnam? from Vietnam showing
yeah.
your diploma?
The document that you have transferred.
Yes, ma'am. This time I come the application, I get my license in high school and my country under my school. They'll be,
Do you have that paper?
I don't have, they take for me everything. And this time I got a mail from right here, mail come to me, but I come to school they know. And I
So they
receive it.
you never received,
It's my understanding that once you turn it, unfortunately, when you turn in your original to be translated,
They
they
keep it?
translate it to keep the original.
oh.
So all she has is the original from that company, which I've submitted.
Is the translator in the United States?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
It's
sir.
a company that's recognized by the state of Louisiana, or it was.
And they keep her original?
Yes, and give her their original.
I'm not a lawyer, is that legal? That's her property.
Yeah. But that's the company, and that's how they operate.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't know if it's valid or not. I'm just saying, I mean, would have liked to have really seen the original.
It would have been in Vietnamese
in-
language.
Right, but at least we would have seen
Yes.
this.
Ms. Gold, what year did you graduate from high school?
Under my country, happy year 1994.
And where did you go to school for manicure?
I'm going to California, the school, Santa Ana College.
And for how long were you there?
I stayed there 3 months.
How old are you?
So,
How old are you?
my own,
How old?
Age.
yeah, 41 years.
Do you know how many hours you put in?
Yeah, I stayed there like 400 hours.
I don't see a seal on this anywhere, you know, it's,
You have a phone number on there?
I don't know. I don't see, you know, if you receive a document like that from another state, you would have that state seal. That's how you notice the Louisiana license, for example, or Louisiana high school diploma. It has a state seal on it. I see a nice looking document, but I don't see any authority on that document.
We can ask, when she comes back, we'll ask her if this generally, if this is the copy that she receives or if it looks different. On the that's the translation.
This fan was sent in to us by Lily Payne's Academy. Because when the high school, it's in the original documents from the last hearing, because what Lily Payne's Academy did was when they were questioned about the diplomas, that they resent the applications and they sent them with this span tran. And so this span tran was put in the original hearing document. But it did not have, with just the sheet from span tran, it was not attached to any document that it translated, which normally you would have the translation and what was being translated.
But one thing, this document that we see in the front of us is from 2001. We're now 2016, and I'm just wondering if it really,
It's from 2013.
the one that I saw, when she filed it, 2001.
I don't have that.
You see right up there? So I mean, that's a large span, and that was from the detained school.
Transplants from other things.
Span transfers. We recommend them and a couple other people when they get their stuff translated.
Are there any more questions for Ms. Stone?
Did the school that you attended in California, did they require you to have a high school diploma?
Yes, sir.
And they accepted this as
Yes,
I think we need to do a little investigation on this issue. Maybe we can find out if their business is, why would they hold somebody's?
Look on the back.
If it's old, they may not even be the same.
We didn't really have one person talking.
I think it would help.
The board, myself, to be able to see,
So,
you know,
can everyone stop talking, please? Right, because we really have to have one person talk at a time, or the court reporter can't write it down. So what has staff done to investigate the application?
I don't have an application at my desk for her, but she is in our computer system as being one of the fraudulent applicants from Wisconsin. And we did receive the certification from California on her. I do have that at my desk. Once I get her application, I put them together. So apparently, I don't have the application because I didn't merge them together. So I do have the certification from California. She initially got her license in California, I wrote it on there, 8/17 of 2015. But I don't have the application itself with all the other documents. But she is in our system as one of the fraudulent applicants from Wisconsin.
When you say fraudulent, are you saying she
With the
did?
fraudulent with the licenses being fraudulent. She did a hearing and everything,
But
with
you're not
the court.
saying she committed fraud?
Yes. She
You are?
submitted fraudulent documents.
The school did.
The school did. Right.
From Wisconsin? Not from
Mr.
Wisconsin.
Holt, so your client hasn't applied?
Where?
Here, it sounds like according to our record, she hasn't applied yet.
I thought this is her application. This is her application showing that
What happened
she
is
graduated in California.
when she came in and brought it, there was a note in the system that says there's a docket number. So what we did was just made a copy of it. We didn't accept the application from her because we had to set a hearing. We couldn't process the reciprocity application without proceeding with the hearing first. So we don't have the original documents, as far as that's concerned. So she would have to resubmit a
Did
reciprocity
you give it back to
application.
her when she
Yes.
attempted to? Okay.
I'm not saying that, this ban right here is not right. I'm not saying it's fraud. I just think that I personally would like to do a little bit more investigation and wondering why would they keep her original? Because we have seen original high school diplomas from Vietnam. We have. So I would like to, you know, just see. I'm not saying that, you know, we're not gonna move you forward or anything. I just, for the board's sake, is to let us see more information.
So, Ms.
That would help.
how about this as a, you know, what if we allow her to apply? We ask staff to look into the issue with the graduation diploma, you know, and make sure to the best of their ability that it is, you know, valid, that she has a high school diploma. And then subject to their typical inquiry into these matters, that they either allow her to take the test or they don't, and based upon whether they find the documents to be valid.
Okay, we do have a list of companies that foreign documents can go to that we accept. It's on our website for foreign documents to send it to one of the companies off the list. I don't know if that company is on the list. If she sent her information to one of the companies that the board approved, then we shouldn't have a problem with it. So, I mean, she got her original documents, send it to one of the companies and get it translated and evaluated, resubmit it to us. If they okay it, then everything is fine. It shouldn't be a problem.
If who okays it?
If the company that translates for us, we have a list on our website of the companies that the board okayed as far as sending
You have
foreign
confidence
documents.
in that translating company.
I assume so, the board okayed it. I
See, when you
didn't.
tell me things like that,
I didn't. The board okayed the list.
And I think this company is on
I
the
think
list.
it is too. I'm not 100%,
Okay.
but I
So
think
if that
it
company,
that company's on the list?
I don't know.
is
I would
verified.
have to go get the list.
Verified.
Go get the list.
Go get the
Okay.
Spantran, no?
Right.
Yeah, oh yeah, I understand that.
Because she would need the original
And so
to
does
send
California.
to
Spantran
somebody
is
else.
not on the list.
It's not on there?
Who's the lady
Then
that's
it
left?
makes you to wonder.
Stephanie Ricard, she does.
My recollection that
reciprocity.
Spantran was not on the
So-
list.
so the information comes to
Started
her.
getting a bunch of these Spantrans from the
She has a
and
list of
then
requirements.
the staff was going to present them for approval because they were, the companies that were on the list were the same ones, I think that the embassy or one of the foreign councils was accepted. We adopted their list. And then we started seeing these Spantrans. But I think when Spantran was contacted, they said they were not going to do the translations anymore for Vietnam. So they never were added to the list.
So they're not on the list.
So the list,
She's got to have the original to get a new one. She doesn't have it. She said Spantran kept it.
Do you have another one?
Yeah.
See, you still there.
Spantran is number 19.
It's on the list.
Right? Thank you.
So you
I don't know
legit?
what the date is.
That's all I'm asking.
We just got to verify, like you said, with the seal and
So,
why
so
they
we've,
kept
we've
the
got,
original.
it sounds to me like, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've got an accepted translator who is certified that she has a high school diploma issued in Vietnam. And we also have a valid, from the state of California, she was licensed in the state of California. So based upon those things, we should allow her to test. And so do you want to, it's your turn to make a motion.
I motion that we accept all the documents she presented and that we allow her to test in the state of Louisiana.
Second motion.
All in favor?
I
Opposed?
just,
Sorry?
I'm not, no, but I just wanted to say, I think further, you know, for us, that when they bring these documents, that they should have a copy of the original document of their diploma with it. You know, even though they, you know,
So I think that's a great suggestion to add.
They usually do
They do.
have,
They
they
do.
usually do have the original with, copy with the translation, but I don't know what happened to hers, but they
She said
usually
they
do.
kept it.
So all opposed? No? So,
I have a concern.
yes, sir.
Not necessarily opposition, but I have a concern. I think it's important for us to be cognizant of what precedent we set. I think we need to know specifically what's required and match the documents she brings with what's required. Because if we don't, we could have an avalanche of people coming in with the same situation, and no point in having to go over the same thing over and over.
I agree.
That's my concern. If you have a document, it should have a state seal, sealed by
So
somebody.
you make a really excellent point, and I think what we need to do is amend what we put on the website.
But can
Ask
I make
for
a
the
comment though on
Yes,
that
sir.
point? This, Spantran is a private company, so they won't have the state seal. This
No,
is-
I wasn't talking about that.
Yeah.
State agencies have a, for
This is
example,
not
if you say
state.
you graduated from
Yeah.
Baton Rouge High School, your diploma has a Louisiana State seal on that. I remember when I came back from Atlanta for Hurricane Katrina, they were no longer using black ink pens. They required you to use a blue pen. And that's because everybody has a computer, everybody has a printer, everybody can make documents look pretty, but that's not the issue. You need to have it validated.
Yeah, I think you're totally correct, Mr. Williams, and I think you're agreeing with Ms. Abear that what we really want to see going forward is also a copy of the original.
So both young ladies can take the state test.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Earl. Thank you, Ms. Evans.
Sherry, you take
Gonna make a copy. It's her own really
I think we're taking a break.
copy.
Since Mr. Williams has exited the room. So do you want, can we take like a 5-minute break? So let's maybe come back at 5 till.
In response to the notices we sent out with the fake diplomas that came from Lily Payne. So Ms. Lee is actually one of the individuals that helped us to understand what was going on at Lily Payne. And she has with her husband, who also was a witness in the case and was very instrumental to us understanding what was going on at Lily Payne County. So we're thankful to them for that. Now, Ms. Lee says that she went to California and got her credentials subsequently. So she is in our database as one of the Lily Payne applicants with an invalid application. And now she asked to be reviewed for reciprocity from California. And she did bring with her her high school diploma, her original one, and the translation that she obtained, and her original California license.
Can we see that?
So you want to swear Ms. Louie in?
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes.
So, Ms. Louie, first I want to say thank you for your assistance in the board in uncovering these prior matters, so we really appreciate it. And is that your high school diploma?
Yes, sir.
And when did you graduate from high school?
In Vietnam.
When?
2000.
Yeah. 2004 in Vietnam. And did you attend nail school?
I have in Cali, California.
In California? But how long were you in Afghanistan?
Yeah, 400.
Did you receive your, did you complete the program?
Yeah.
Did you apply for a license in California?
So you have a license from California already? So we can
So California issued you a license? Did you take a test?
Yes.
What kind of test?
I did the test with the computer for reading some
Oh, so you're reading by the computer and in the class?
the nail.
Do some math by
And what do you know what score you got on the test? Did you pass the test? And California issued you a license. Any other questions?
That's the copy of the California license.
It's the original.
Is this company on my list?
Oh, yes, she had it translated. I had to send it back to her. She did have it translated, and the company sent it to me directly.
The translation that Ms. Lee did, and the process with the span transfer from the prior case is when they translate the document, they send it sealed directly to the board. So it doesn't pass through the hands of the applicant. And so, but the span train that we had in the other case was sent by the school open without the documents attached. But the translation companies have a method to protect the integrity of the documents.
And I want to ask, is this translation on our list too?
Yeah.
The company.
Yes, that should be a requirement. And that the translations come down to us. See.
Yes.
Any additional questions for Ms. Bowie? Julie, do you have anything?
I've seen it already.
Wait, I do still have a question. What is the name of the school in California you attended?
Beautiful Academy.
Timmy?
Tammy Beautiful Academy.
Beauty.
Yeah. It should be on a document.
Y'all want any of this on the record, y'all have to speak.
Yeah, I think they're just sort of thinking.
Okay.
I'm thinking out aloud.
So it looks like we have the two documents that we need. And I wanted to know if anyone would like to propose a motion that we allow her to take her Louisiana test.
I pose the motion that we accept Ms. Bowie's application and certifications for reciprocity in the state of Louisiana.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
So she came, got the.
She can, yes, the board has agreed to accept the application. She can go ahead and get her license.
Does she need to resubmit her application?
Yeah.
Then you gave your application back, and then you have to submit it. Did you get your application back?
Thì cái đơn của em người ta đưa lại cho em. Em apply thêm for the Louisiana.
Yeah, but she has her,
Money for her in there.
Yeah, so she needs to just fill out the reciprocity.
Right.
So, Ms. Bowie, you understand? Just fill out the application.
Can someone at the desk help her?
Yes.
Yeah.
You go back to the front desk and tell her you need a reciprocity application, they'll help you. While you're here, you can do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're back up to the